battles between a war-mongering United States and rule-loving European Union, with each trying to impose its preferred approach on the other. This was not what we saw when we conducted interviews or read primary documents. Instead, we found a host of non-conventional actors directly involved in the conduct of international affairs. While foreign ministers and ambassadors continue to matter, they no longer enjoy a monopoly over global negotiations. Firms, privacy regulators, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, interior and finance ministries, and intelligence agencies set agendas, propose solutions, and create the political coalitions that underpin international deals on privacy and security. When one considers this wider set of players, the monolith of the state shatters into a myriad of individual pieces. Rather than a U.S. or EU position, the transatlantic relationship is shaped by quarreling societies of actors, which often have one faction pushing for greater leeway to pursue security concerns and another arguing for greater attention to privacy issues. Once internal disputes have been transformed by globalization. These competing factions are no longer bound to fight their battles within domestic politics. Instead, some players have access to global political opportunities, allowing them to forge alliances across societies as opposed to within them. Second, we were struck by how EU-US negotiations over privacy and security were plagued by repeated disagreements rather than convergence on a single solution. Each deal seemed no more and no less than the platform for the next stage of institutional struggle, so that true equilibrium was never reached. Formal modelers are adept at forcing such square pegs into round holes, sometimes with surprising and usefully counterintuitive results. We took a different path, moving away from the rationalist models of negotiation that are usually employed in international relations, to incorporate insights from sociology, comparative politics, and law. This body of work depicts contentious politics that does not necessarily conduct toward a stable outcome. By thinking of the transatlantic relationship as an ongoing struggle between competing factions hoping to promote privacy or security, we turned our attention from trying to understand the success or failure of actors in bargaining over a specific deal to the strategies that these actors deployed, as they sought to bolster their cause in partially unpredictable processes of institutional change. When one is not as focused on discrete, time-limited outcomes, it becomes easier to characterize the longer-term dynamic processes in which the losers of a first round often come back to fight another day. Third and finally, we were impressed by the far-reaching consequences that transatlantic politics had for the balance between civil liberties and surveillance. This was not simply a process of technocratic adjustment or shared approaches to governance. It was politics, and often bitter politics at that, involving sharp disagreements between actors who strongly disagreed. Much of the work on globalization emphasizes the frictions and problems that it generates, and the solutions that international institutions provide for those frictions. We saw the opposite. Instead of fixing political problems, international institutions opened up old domestic bargains and new topics of contention. International institutions are not just quick fixes to coordination or cooperation problems. We also found that these institutions generate opportunity structures that some actors, but not others, use to further their political objectives. In other words, transatlantic interactions and institutions generate distributional consequences and power asymmetries among competing factions. These transnational interactions have real implications for the relationship between the state and its citizens, and for the extent to which individuals enjoy a reasonable expectation of privacy. Therefore, Of Privacy and Power offers an alternative vision of global politics that is much less